Ladies and gentlemen of the Action Army, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of Answers for Athletes. In today's video, we're going to talk about five major things that are going to benefit your life. Five major things that bodybuilding taught me about athletic performance. Some of these are going to blow your mind. But before I get into that, make sure that you comment JUMP, J-U-M-P, down below in the comment section for a free bodyweight vertical jump training program. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your question down below if you want me to answer your question in a video just like this. All right, here we go. Let's get right into it. 5 things that bodybuilding taught me about athletic performance and being the best athlete that I could possibly be and that you could possibly be. Number 1 is discipline. Let's just get this one out of the way. Oh my God, another video. He's talking about discipline. Listen to me. Professional basketball players treat themselves way different than high school basketball players. So there's a book out there. It's called Turning Pro. I can't, what is the author's name? I cannot remember the author's name, but there's a book called Turning Pro where he says you need to stop treating yourself like an amateur and start treating yourself like a professional. And this goes for everything. So athletics, business, anything, like any craft that you want to master, you have to stop treating yourself like an amateur. You got to quit fucking around. You got to treat yourself like a professional. There's also another book called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And he explains that good is really the enemy of great. You don't want to be good. You want to be great. So in bodybuilding, one of the things that I wanted to do was, so first, my goal for bodybuilding, when I say bodybuilding, I was in the men's physique category. So I wasn't the really big dudes who wear Speedos. That wasn't what I did. I was the more like fitness model type who wore board shorts. So my goal was to be the number one. I wanted to be Mr. Olympia men's physique. So I wanted to be the greatest men's physique bodybuilder that ever lived. Then I realized that in order to compete at that level, I would have to take steroids, and I just was not willing to stick a needle in my ass cheek. However, when it comes to discipline and turning pro and being great instead of good, training is one thing that it's something that I learned from bodybuilding, and then I took it into athletic performance. Training, it really has to be locked in. So I tell all my high school basketball players all the time, professional athletes, pro basketball players treat themselves way different than high school basketball players. So when we're talking about training, every single high school basketball player in America, every single college, every single basketball player in general goes to practice. Practice is the bare minimum. Everybody does it. So all of you athletes, I say this to my high school team, all of you that are just coming to practice and you're wondering why you don't get as many minutes as you want, it's because everybody goes to fucking practice. You're not doing anything to separate yourself. So then there's a couple athletes on my team who come to the gym with me. We go to the school at 6 a.m. in the morning and we do strength workouts or they do skills workouts. Now you're not just practicing, you're practicing and you're strengthening and you're doing skill work, right? So you are doing more than everybody else. You're already separating yourself. So one thing that I learned from bodybuilding, like bodybuilding is everybody's in the gym lifting weights. I did bodybuilding competitions in college and we had one big weight room in college and I would see everybody else who was also doing the bodybuilding competition. So everybody that I'm competing with who's going to do the same bodybuilding show as me, I would see all of them training. So I could look at them and be like, wow, they're doing that, they're doing that, they're doing that. I have to do more than them and I have to do it smarter and better than them and more effective than them. So in athletics, the same thing occurs. Training, you have to train differently than everybody else. Nutrition has to be on point. Like that's one thing that I got from bodybuilding that also transfers to athletics. Everybody's eating shitty. Like most basketball players, their diets suck. So one way to separate yourself, eat well. Eat healthier than them. Eat more nutritious foods. Eat whole foods when they're fucking around with potato chips. Then supplements, right? I don't want to get too far into supplements, but your supplements got to be on point. As of now, all that I take, just to be honest with all of you, is creatine monohydrate. But back when I was doing, sometimes I drink a protein shake, but I've been hungry nowadays recently, so I've been eating food instead of protein. But back in the day, man, I was taking every supplement under the sun, trying to be the best bodybuilder that I could possibly be. But for basketball players, creatine is going to be big. Magnesium, vitamin D. If you don't live in why do I keep cussing, bro? Relax. If you don't live in Florida, Texas, California, somewhere where it's, the sun is out more, it's a little bit warmer, you're going to need a vitamin D supplement, but that's not what this is on. No alcohol. So we're talking about discipline. This is still the first point. No alcohol. In college, right? I'm in college. I went to Slippery Rock University, which is a D2 school. It is a very big party school. There were parties everywhere. There were my roommates going to parties. I would sometimes go to these parties and not drink alcohol. And then I would see other people that are doing the same bodybuilding show and they'd be hammered. And I'd be like, well, that's why I'm first and you're last. Anyways, no alcohol. Very big on discipline. When you get to athletics, alcohol is just going to do nothing beneficial for your body. Do I still drink now? Occasionally. I'm not gonna BS you guys. And then when it comes to discipline, I would actually take my food into restaurants. I don't do that anymore. I actually like to eat out. If we do some special occasion, I'm going to eat whatever I want. But so right now I follow the 90-10 principle. 90% of the time I'm locked in. 10%, if there's a special occasion, I'm not going to go there. I used to take chicken and rice to a restaurant with my friends. They would order from the restaurant and I would eat chicken and rice out of a Tupperware container. Anyways, I spent way too long on that point. But discipline is one thing that I learned from bodybuilding that carried over into athletics. Second thing, I'm going to go quicker with these. Go through it, not to it. Go through it, not to it. So there's a lot of athletes out there who actually want to build muscle. A lot of athletes, when I do coaching for them online, they say, well, I want to be athletic. I want to jump high. But I also want to look aesthetic. I want some muscles. So this does apply, it can apply to strength work. It really applies to hypertrophy work and building muscle, hence the bodybuilding. But go through it, not to it. So when you are lifting weights, let's say you're just very easy, we're doing a bicep curl. You don't go to it, right? So when your biceps start to burn, you reach that point where they start to burn. You don't go to it. You don't go to the pain. You go through the pain. You go, at that time I was training till failure. You go until you literally cannot do another rep. So go through it, not to it. This actually applies to anything in life. This applies to athletics, but most of us, we think we're working hard and we go to the gym and we do a little bit. But when we could be doing way more, we do some strength work, right? And we go to the level that we went previously. And then a lot of us, if you're watching this channel, you probably progressive overload because I preach that so often. But you can't go to what your body already knows. You have to go through it to force adaptation. So second thing that I learned from bodybuilding is go through it, not to it. If you're running a race, you don't just go to the finish line. You got to run through the finish line, bro. You got to blow the finish line open. Anyways, third thing is visualization. This is huge. So back when I was a bodybuilder, I used to visualize. I used to lay down in my bed, actually, and I would close my eyes and I would visualize myself walking onto the stage, doing my posing routine. I would visualize myself actually competing against everybody else. Is bodybuilding a real sport? Are you actually competing against people? When I was a bodybuilder, I used to say, yeah, bro, it's a real sport. Now, come on, bro, bodybuilding, it's considered a sport, but is it a real sport, bro? What are you actually doing? You're getting in your underwear and you're trying to have bigger muscles than everybody else. Wow, other bodybuilders are going to hate me. That's okay. But visualization, huge for athletes. Visualization is huge for athletes. So I used to visualize me going on stage as an athlete. There was a study that they did, and I'm going to butcher this. I actually haven't ever seen this study, so this could be made up. However, I believe that there was a study done where they had three groups of individuals shoot free throws. And this could be a complete lie. Somebody fact check me on this. But the first group just didn't shoot any free throws. The second group shot free throws. The third group didn't shoot any free throws, but they visualized themselves shooting and making free throws. And the group that didn't shoot any free throws or visualize, they didn't shoot or visualize, they obviously made the least amount of free throws. The group that actually shot free throws made the second most, but the group that visualized themselves making free throws made the most free throws. That could be completely wrong, but it might be correct. Anyways, the whole point is that visualization is extremely important. And what I would do as an athlete is, number one, visualize your goals and what you actually want. How high do you want your vertical jump to be? What do you want to be able to do on the court? What are you going to do on the court in today's game? So visualization, visualize your goals and what you actually want, but then you have to come back to where you are now and with your eyes closed, visualize yourself actually doing the things necessary to get that. That's one thing that people make the mistake of when they're visualizing. They just visualize their goals, right? I want to make $1 million. Then they visualize $1 million. But like, what are you going to actually do to get that $1 million? Like, you have to come back to today and see yourself actually doing the things necessary. See yourself taking the steps to get there. So visualization was a big thing for me as a bodybuilder that can really transfer over to athletics. I think every athlete needs to visualize, and you'd be better off doing visualization than not doing visualization. Number 4, stress creates adaptation, no matter the goal. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but as a bodybuilder, the goal is building muscle. It's hypertrophy. So in order to build muscle, you need to stress the body in the way that is going to create bigger muscles. So time under tension, muscle damage, mechanical tension, like hypertrophy. That is the most important thing. But as an athlete, stress creates adaptation. You guys all know this if you watch this channel. So you have to progressive overload. You have to do something that your body has not seen before. Stress the body in a way that is going to create the adaptation that you want. So what is the goal? It's to jump higher. Okay, well, you need to sprint faster. You need to move the bar faster. You need to lift heavier. Like, you have to stress the body to create adaptation, and that doesn't matter what the goal is. The goal is just going to dictate the kind of stress that you apply on the body. Last one, macros, right? I'm going to talk a tiny bit about proteins, fats, and carbs. I've been yapping a lot in this video, but bodybuilding, the number one thing that I learned from bodybuilding was how to count my macros and how to manipulate my macros to help me train the hardest and help me look the best. So protein, how much do you want? 0.75 grams of protein all the way up to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. It's going to be very important for helping you build muscle, helping you recover. That's a very important point, helping you recover. Quick side note, when I was bodybuilding, I actually did an experiment where I ate 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Literally insane. I was eating over 400 grams of protein every single day. And all that I'm going to say about that is that it took me 45 minutes to sit down on the toilet and actually go to the bathroom. Like, I was constipated. You're welcome for that image. Anyways, 0.75 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight for building muscle, performing at your best, recovery, etc. Fats, how much do you want? For most athletes, 50 to 60 grams of fats is going to be great. It's going to be sufficient. I have a couple athletes online who they'll say, like, I do nutrition coaching, and they'll say, I'm going to eat 200 grams of protein, I'm going to eat 100 carbs, and I'm going to eat 20 fats because I want to lose weight. I say, you got to up your fats to 50 to 60 grams. It's just super important for hormone function. So you eat 20 grams of protein as a male, all of a sudden your testosterone is lower, growth hormone is human growth hormone, or it's lower. Like, you need proper hormone function, and fats play a big role in that. You're going to want unsaturated fats, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, etc. And then carbohydrates. This is the biggest one, especially for athletes. You have to treat your body like a Ferrari, right? Carbs are fast twitch fuel. Fast twitch muscle fibers. In order to be an explosive athlete and be jumping your highest and running your fastest, you need carbohydrates. Like, your body needs carbs to perform those functions at the highest capacity possible. So treat your body like a Ferrari. As an athlete, if you're going to be taking that Ferrari out for a long drive, then you're going to need more fuel. AKA, if you're going to be doing a lot of activity, playing a basketball game, practice, you're going to need a lot of carbohydrates. Whereas if it's a rest day and the Ferrari is going to be sitting in the garage, not doing anything, you don't need as many carbohydrates. But for most active basketball players who are in the middle of their career, you need more carbs than you actually think, right? So yeah. Anyways, that was a long video. I'm not sure how valuable this video actually was for any of you out there. However, hopefully I said one thing in this video that actually benefited your life. But these are 5 things that bodybuilding taught me about athletics and being the best athlete possible. Hopefully I didn't just waste your time, but if I did, I apologize. Like this video if you like it, subscribe to the channel, comment JUMP, JUMP down below in the comment section for a free bodyweight vertical jump training program, and comment your question down below if you want me to answer your question in a video just like this. See you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.